trying to move some poor people out of their homes.
Well, this is an interesting story.
Students. What the Phoenix City Council is doing about it and what they're not going to do about it. Next on Arizona's Morning News.
The Gators and Chad Show.
I'm definitely waiting for that story. I want to turn it up and get it as part of this vlog because it's something I've been talking about for quite some time on my vlog. Not something I talk about a lot, but occasionally about how different developers are often buying mobile home parks and then redeveloping the mobile home parks, which leaves the people who, in their mind, own their homes because they've got paid off mobile homes and they've been paying just really inexpensive lot rent to this old mobile home park. And these people have just got it into their head that that's what their living expenses is, what their living expenses are. And most of them have made no effort to put money away just in case somebody else buys that land so that they can either move or perhaps move their mobile home. And most of the people that are living in these old mobile home parks have mobile homes that are not in very good shape and probably aren't roadworthy to be moved anyway. Anyway, that's what the story that they were teasing is about. Except the developer that's purchased the land is actually, and I think I mentioned this, oh Lord, that's even worse, except for now I don't have some traffic. That developer is actually, oh, I forget the name of the college. The big college whose campus I think is on my right now. I do think that's part of their campus on the right where I'm driving. Not that you can see much of anything driving into the glare of the sun right now, but oh yeah, that's definitely their campus. Grand Canyon University, that's what it's called, GCU, Grand Canyon University. And it's very much their campus on the right side of this road as I'm driving. As you can see, there's a construction fence. Their campus has been rapidly expanding in recent years. And anyway, they recently purchased a mobile home park in this part of town, which is a pretty downtrodden part of town. I mean, it's right adjacent to where all the working girls are, and so that's how low in this neighborhood is. And anyway, apparently there's been a change in what's going on with that, and hopefully they'll get to that story really soon.
Through April 18th and
I drive adjacent
to the 2022 Arizona Charitable Arizona's Morning News Flash. At 6:44, I'm Peter Seymour. Here's what you need to know right now.
These people have to stay in their homes. They have to live in their homes, and they can't have that taken away from them.
But the Phoenix City Council will allow evictions at 3 mobile home parks. Grand Canyon University has owned one of them for 7 years. The school will convert the park to student housing. Jim Sharp has more on this story next. The Arizona Supreme Court rejected 6 out of 7 claims from Republican Carrie Lake in her
7 years they've had to prepare for this move. My sympathy kind of runs low for those people, just saying.
Verification procedure.
Kind of curious how many lizards are out at 7:45 in the morning.
At the residents of 3 mobile home parks
in Phoenix
who are just weeks, possibly months, away from being evicted, and many residents still don't know where they're going to go. There is aid money from the state. We'll get into that in just a second, but a lot of people say it's hard to access. This woman, who identified herself as Alyssa Click, said she wasn't very happy with the school she attends, GCU, because they are one of the owners of a mobile home park that want those residents gone.
I came here to speak today to express to you all that I strongly condemn what my university is doing to the residents of Periwinkle Mobile Home Park. Displacement under the words development is still displacement. We must protect these residents from homelessness, and we must protect affordable housing for the safety and security of our city.
This man, Claudio...
She's adorable.
City Council...
You hold in your hands the power to acknowledge the will of the people and put these solutions into effect. I urge you to vote yes on the 18th-month moratorium and the mobile home zoning overlay. Now more than ever, it's important to demonstrate that you are more than your words that you truly care about addressing homelessness and the rising cost of living in the valley. I'm already hearing talk of this measure setting a bad precedent, specifically for landowners. Last time I checked, land isn't a human being. Land doesn't take care of their families and enrich their community. That's the people that live in these homes.
Here's where some
But it is a
pushback
property
comes.
that you
Pushback
can
from
own.
those who are supporting emptying these mobile home parks, and not just because, well, let's just be frank here. Some of them are an eyesore. They're not exactly high quality residents.
I'm like right by it. Maybe we can roll by it while the story's on.
But in some cases, they're very decent, just happen to be poor people. But let's get to that pushback again. Once again, here's that GCU student, Alyssa.
Every single apartment building, house, and mobile home park that has been displaced by GCU now and in the past, and by other developers across the city, cause irreparable financial and emotional harm and trauma to the people that live there.
Now, I wanted to make clear that I have no prejudice against people who live in mobile home parks. I lived in, last count, I had 4 trailers growing up. That's what we called them, too. We called them trailers. They weren't mobile homes. The pushback is this, that while GCU plans to expand their campus to cover what will soon have been Periwinkle Mobile Home Park, some of these other developers, as Alyssa called them, could build apartments. And while they won't be as affordable as those mobile homes, they will provide more units per acreage than single-story mobile homes can provide. And that's part of the key to lowering housing costs, more supply to meet demand. But this whole situation it's a huge collision of private land ownership, affordable housing, government intervention in the free market system, and our homelessness problem, which is just out of control. Preliminary numbers say that our homeless population in Maricopa County grew by half again over the last year. Ultimately, Phoenix City Council didn't put an 18-month eviction moratorium in place on these mobile home parks as they were asked to do, but they did vote to approve the use of $2.5 million in emergency funding to help residents relocate. That's on top of the money that the state is providing. Those displaced because of redevelopment are eligible to receive either $7,500 or $12,500 to move their mobile home. And for those who can't move their mobile home, are going to have to abandon it, they're eligible to receive $1,875 or $3,125 from that state fund. But it doesn't sound like a whole lot if you got to move your whole life, right, and leave the mobile home behind. And GCU says they're providing more than $500,000 in benefits to tenants, including free rent, early departure compensation, relocation, financial assistance, and household goods from GCU's City Serve warehouse. And they point out, too, in a statement that they more than doubled the deadline for notification from the 6-month requirement to 13 months. But that 13 months is up May 28th. KTAR News Time, 6:49. And we have a check of traffic once again. Here's Detour Dan in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Yeah, this ain't for the squeamish. We've had some pretty serious traffic issues early into this ride. Not a bunch of them, but just enough to keep you on your guard. Right now, westbound I-10, a wreck at 75th Avenue at the underpass. There's a wreck in the North Valley on the eastbound. Loop 101, it's right near 7th Avenue's exit ramp. There's also a closure of the on and off ramps at 19th Avenue, at Northern. This is going to be on top of crash that has closed the on and off ramps. I-17 at Northern. Try Dunlap or Glendale instead. This is for a fatal crash that's up on top. 19th Avenue at Bethany Home Road. Another pedestrian-involved wreck has been reported there. 67th Avenue in McDowell. 27th Avenue in the Loop 101. These are all wrecks. 51st Avenue in Lower Buckeye. That intersection is closed due to a crash. You're going to be in detours as well. Grand Avenue in Northern, a motorcycle-involved crash, and also 75th Avenue and Grand Avenue. We've got a crash reported there involving a bicycle. This traffic report brought to you by me, so please get that seatbelt buckled. Dieter and KTAR News.
High today of 68 with mostly sunny.
So many wrecks. Oh my goodness. And that's just normalized. Few people die from a flu, a variant of the flu or a cold or whatever it was, and suddenly got to shut down the economy. But how many people are getting injured and wrecking cars every day? And that's okay. So I'm seeing a lot of empty spots here in Periwinkle Mobile Home Park. Ooh, and that gate is closed. I gotta go back out the way I came in. I'm seeing some quite a few empty spots. So apparently some of the people who had mobile homes here, they're saying 7 years that Grand Canyon University has owned this property. And presumably all these people have been given notice how much time they have to remove their trailers. That's what they called them when I was a kid too, trailer homes, trailers. And all of them, at some point or another, were hauled here by a truck of some kind. That one just straight up looks like a camp trailer, more or less. And I lived in some growing up as well. I mean, you know, when somebody lets a trailer sit in the same location for so long that all the gear underneath it used for moving it gets dilapidated, you know, it's this is what you get. And as I can see going through this mobile home park, this place is pretty freaking dilapidated. And a lot of these people don't, just looking at just all the junk in front of their trailers, it doesn't look like most of these people are making any effort to vacate. I don't know. I don't have as much sympathy as that bleeding heart student that was talking about how she was mad at her school for doing this. I mean, if somebody, I'm of the opinion that if you buy some real estate, you should be able to do what the hell you want with it. So, you know, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I kind of feel bad for the people that live here, but I don't know, I see a lot of people owning, you know, some pretty nice vehicles here. So, oh, here we have another tailgater. There's evidence of another tailgater. You know, maybe they should have, instead of putting money into, and this gate is closed too, instead of spending money on financing, you know, big expensive trucks, which many of these look to be newer than 7 years old. Perhaps these people should have realized that, hey, I don't own the property my trailer sits on, and I need to be a little more frugal with my transportation and figure out what I'm going to do about either moving or selling my trailer.
Will be evicted soon. Grand Canyon University has owned one of them for 7 years. GCU will convert its park.
This is the one I'm in right now.
KTAR's Jim Cross has the latest in just a few minutes.
KTAR News. Water Watch.
We've had great storms this season. Reservoirs are almost full across the state, but Arizona is still facing water challenges.
Drought and the effects of climate change are hitting the state's water supply hard, especially the Colorado River. But Kathy Jacobs with U Arizona, who was also a state water manager for several decades.
And those are new student housing that you see above the, as I was approaching that wall there. This new student housing going in on the other side. As you can see, pretty much all this neighborhood, as I was driving into it, is filled with, has been taken over by the GCU campus. The trailer on the right looks like it's getting ready to be moved, but it also looks like it's been pretty much gutted, so the people who lived in it probably moved out. That one on the right looks pretty empty too. But yeah, I see quite a few of these people living here. But I sure see people with, well, that guy's got Mexican license plates. Things that make you go,
TikTok poses a serious threat to national security. The Chinese-owned company collects users' data, including biometric information. Critics worry that data could be handed over to China's.
Kind of curious if the mobile home park on my right is also one that's affected. But even if it's not, I'm sure it's just a matter of time until some developer buys that property. I mean, the bottom line is if you've got a trailer anywhere in Central Phoenix or any other city that's having gentrification type infill development happening, you should realize that your days are numbered unless you have a co-op and the residents actually own that property. It's just a matter of time until the person who does own it sells it to somebody who's going to make better use of that property, because the mobile home park is not particularly great use of a property. Just saying. She's still there. Still trying to make that early morning money.